Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another Legally Armed America video. I'm, of course, Paul Glasgow here, the one and only truth pimp, dealing you a vulgar display of logic and reason on a daily basis. Today, I got a video of... I don't even know how to describe this person other than saying it's a fat racist, and I'm just going to jump right into the video because you got to see it. I can't really describe this.
I don't care about your race. Your race and your empire will die. And you know what? All of this land will come right back to us, and I guarantee you, all my people...
Aren't we all people? Aren't we all human beings?
You don't treat us like human beings.
Well, you just said you don't care about us.
I don't. I really don't. We're going to continue to grow while your race dies off. And that's what it really is your white supremacy. You are so scared that...
You're going to continue to grow while we die off.
You're so scared that your women aren't having children. That's why you're trying to ban abortion. Y'all want y'all white women to have children because your race is dying off. Mine is
Are you
growing.
happy about that?
I don't really care. I just care about my race, black people and brown people growing. I don't care about you. You will build a border, you will build a wall, we will dig under it. And if you close what's under it, we will dig on top. Trust
Are you
me.
against borders?
I am.
So no borders.
I don't think we should have a border here. I think it should be controlled, yes. I don't think anyone should come in.
How are we going to control it if there's no border?
So we're going to approach this one from a realistic standpoint, not from a woke leftist standpoint. I don't care what color she is. I don't care that she's a chick. She's a bigot. Just because it became acceptable to rag on the white race and to drag it down and beat it down and to try to demoralize everybody who just happens to have European descendants in their bloodline doesn't mean that it's going to fly here. In fact, you see a weak but small shift where people are fed up with it. They're not having it anymore. I've never tolerated it here, and I'm not going to tolerate it now from this cow. This seething, fat bigot hiding behind some weird little cape of fake virtue. Yeah, she's getting away with it because she thinks spewing hate at white people is apparently the trendy thing to do, even though it is, again, tailing off a little bit. Yeah, she's here at the National Mall in D.C. They got the grassy fields, the iconic monuments in the background. This is America's heartland being desecrated by a mob of frickin' whiners crying about fascism. Some fat chick in a ridiculous blue refuse fascism getup. Probably, I'm assuming she's Hispanic based on her looks. And of course she's fat, so... her nonstop yapping about her people. This chick is squaring off against some poor little white guy who's just asking simple questions, and he's simply and easily exposing all of her BS. But of course, she's not buying into any of the unity stuff. That's not what she wants. This chick launches into a venomous spiel about how white folks and their empire are doomed, how the land's gonna flip back to non-whites, and how her side's gonna thrive while whites fade into oblivion. Okay, hold on one second. I want to flip the script a little bit so you can see how this ain't acceptable no matter what side you come at it from. And I don't care what your race is either, as I spoke earlier. Let me try this. You tell me how weird this sounds, and let me find the right words. Okay, I want to talk about how black and brown folks and their empire are doomed. I also would like to say how the land's going to flip back to white people. I want to discuss how we going to flip the land from the brown people, from the black people, and that our side is going to thrive while blacks and brown people fade into oblivion. Doesn't sound racist at all, does it? This heifer ties it all to white supremacy paranoia. She's claiming stuff like abortion bans are just sneaky ways for whites to boost their numbers because they're supposedly dying out. I don't know. Maybe some people are against abortion because it's the wrong thing to do. Maybe some people actually have a moral compass, unlike this fat cow here, and just genuinely think, because they're good people and rational people, maybe they just think abortion is a bad thing. Maybe they're not trying to increase population numbers after all. Maybe they feel like killing babies is bad. Now, when this poor little guy pressed this heifer on whether she gives a damn about white people vanishing, nope. She just focused on black and brown dominance. This is just racism dressed up like some kind of little flimsy resistance mob. This person here is not fighting for a cause. She's just looking for a reason to be able to spout her racist BS. And when the guy talks to her about borders, she flip-flops like Barack Obama did when he was in office. She hates him, but wants him controlled somehow. Then clams up when he calls this chick out on her idiocy. The irony is that this is at a Refuse Fascism rally. You ever notice how the people who were most vocal about fascism are the ones who want the most fascism? It's the irony is amazing. You spot it on a daily basis. We're against fascism. And then they go on to talk about all the things they want, which are fascist views. Just like this cow. She wants to pretend that she's somehow battling some kind of authoritarianism. But if nothing else, it exposes, I think, the biggest scam they have. Dreams of demographic takeover, land grabs, and zero empathy for anyone outside their little racial echo chamber. It ain't fighting fascism. It's fueling racism is all it's doing from someone who thinks they're part of a protected class. I got news for you, sister, you're not. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and I don't mean this woman. Why does this anti-white bile get a hall pass while the reverse would ignite a huge firestorm and actually get me kicked off of YouTube if I said the same thing she did and meant those things? It's that bogus prejudice plus power crap from critical race theory circles where whites can't be victims of real racism because they've got the systemic edge. So minorities venting hate is like punching up, and it's perfectly okay. Along the way, history gets thrown in, colonialism, slavery, to excuse their racist, horrible comments. Of course, the media is going to play along with all this, amplifying any kind of anti-minority stuff to fight, quote, supremacy, but brushing off this as fringe or non-threatening. Now, if you'll bear with me for a minute, I'm going to point out truth now, because I am the truth pimp. Let's address this fat cow's comments about abortion first. Okay, her claim is that white people, as if white people are the only ones against abortion. But let's go with her lie. That white people are against abortion because we have fading birth numbers. And we want abortion to go away so those numbers will go back up. Well, that's kind of stupid, right? Now, you get what her argument is, right? She's saying that some of us, apparently, because it can't be all of us if there's that many people, white people having abortions, but some of us are against it just to beef those numbers up, as if that's even a thought, right? I mean, I never thought of it. Never crossed my mind that we need to bump our numbers up. Let's look at actual numbers. Who's committing all the abortions out there? Now, we know that white people are the majority in the United States. Now, granted, it's a smaller majority than it was many years ago. I think many years ago it was 90% white in the United States. Now it's probably closer to 60%. Who cares? So it's one of those things where you have to understand how percentages and per capita things work and all that. But let's just take numbers, right? The most recent numbers that I have are 2022's abortion surveillance report, and it shows that there were a reported 613,383 abortions overall. First of all, that number is absolutely shocking to me. And this is not some crusade I'm mounting against abortion, by the way, but 613,000 abortions in a year? Whew, that's a lot. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. That's a remarkable number. You realize that? That many lives were taken in 1 year from people who just nonchalantly got pregnant and just casually ended the term? That was eye-popping to me. So if we use those numbers and using the CDC percentages, because the CDC breaks it down by percentage, not by number of abortions, the CDC claims that non-Hispanic white people were responsible for 31.9% of the abortions. That 31.9% of that 613,383 would have been 195,669 abortions. Black abortions, 39.5%. That was the highest number. That came in at 242,286 abortions. Hispanic, which is apparently what this chick was, 21.2%. That's 130,000 abortions. So this woman is trying to bash the white race. And just like a lot of Democrats do, it's funny when their numbers start to wane, they find another group to pull in with them. You know, it used to be that Democrats just only cared about black people as far as a non-white race. Whenever they realized that a lot of black people were wising up to their antics and that they were purposely keeping them as slaves, they wanted to pull in brown people, right? Their tent just got a little more crowded in there because we can't get enough voters out there by just going for and trying to protect black people. So we have to import somebody else. Say, hey, let's do it to the brown people. And of course, that's why they opened the borders up. They wanted to inflate those numbers. So now they claim them as their own. Now it's not black people. Now it's not minorities. It's black and brown people. It's cute, right? If we take those numbers of black and brown people, those numbers would be 242,286 black babies killed, 130,037 Hispanic or brown babies killed. Folks, that's going to give us 372,000 black and brown abortions. There were 195,000 white abortions. Still way too many at an alarming number. But if this chick thinks that somehow or another this is going to right the ship, maybe they should stop killing all their own babies. And that will allow their numbers to increase. Because at this point, the only way that the black and brown numbers are increasing in the United States is because of the open border. That's the only thing increasing their numbers. They're killing their babies off in record numbers, more so than the white people that she hates so much. So the white race numbers are going to continue to grow, while their black and brown numbers will continue to decline unless there's open borders. Well, Trump's put a stop to that. In the last 6 months, there's 0 illegal aliens who have come in here. So at this point, if things stay like they are, their numbers are the ones that are going to be dwindling. So 60% of the U.S. population just gone. You would have economic craters, infrastructure in ruins, cities turning absolutely chaotic. Globally, European descended folks, 10 to 15% of the actual entire world, punch way above in GDP, tech, and military might. Lose that and power shifts to Asia. I guess they're going to want to include yellow people now in their black and brown numbers. Supply chains would absolutely snap, and innovation would certainly come to a complete halt. Long term, well, humanity adapts in most cases. Cultures in a lot of cases will blend, but in a lot of cases they won't. It's like oil and water. But we'd miss the backbone of modern progress. There's no doubt about it. Let's be honest here, guys. And she's making this about race, not me. European descended white people are responsible for 80 to 90% of inventions in the history of the world. Sister girl, do you really, really want all white people to disappear? I get that you're mad, jealous, and angry. I get that. Aspire to be better. Instead of hating on people who are kicking your ass, try to be more like them. Maybe you want to be more like me. If you would try to be more like me, you would be a better person, you'd probably be a harder worker, and you'd probably be a little more happy. But you see me, and I piss you off because I outwork you, I outthink you, and I am better than you. Not because of my genes, not because Sydney Sweeney told me what jeans to wear. No, I'm better than you because I'm not filled with hate. I'm filled with truth. And I'm comfortable enough to talk to people like you about it. And it's not just inventions or things that happened during the Industrial Revolution. Let's talk about science and medicine alone if we're going to really educate this cow. Let's see, the scientific method by Francis Bacon. He was English. Galileo was Italian. Laws of motion and gravity from Isaac Newton. He was English. Theory of relativity by Albert Einstein. He was German Jewish. Penicillin discovered by Alexander Fleming. Oh, he was Scottish. That ain't black or brown. The DNA double helix structure cracked by James Watson and Francis Crick. American British. The Steam Engine by James Watt, he was Scottish. That kicked off the Industrial Revolution. Telephone by Alexander Graham Bell, Scottish again. Electric light bulb by Thomas Edison, American. And some of this stuff, we're somehow failing to not have Tesla in there. But Nikola Tesla's scattered in there too, and he's not black or brown. The internet, Tim Berners-Lee, English, airplane, Wright brothers, American, automobile, Carl Benz, German, the printing press, Johannes Gutenberg, German. I could go on and on and on. Other than maybe burritos, enchiladas, and tacos, what the hell have your people created? Maybe a couple of pyramids that they ripped off from the Egyptians, but I'm kind of at a loss here to figure out what this brown person is tied to historically in terms of inventions or creations or contributions to modern society that doesn't result in heartburn or the shits. This porker isn't displaying any kind of activism. It's a sense of resentment porn in a way. It's tolerated because it stokes the woke ego, which again is fading. In a world still boiling from 2024's mess and a few years before that, rallies like this are kind of like mold, right? It's proof that the tolerant left is an absolute joke. If equality is truly the point and the goal here, which clearly it's not, then why do they allow this kind of hate, right? I mean, if true equality was the absolute goal, why not strive for that? Which I'm not striving for equality. I'm okay with equal opportunity, but not more equal opportunity, if you know what I mean. No one is more equaler than me or anybody else. If it came to a job being open and me and this porker were the only two that were applying for it, well, may the best man or woman win. My guess is it would be me. And this chick here is probably mad because she watches her friends, her neighbors, and other people around her work harder than her and try to commit themselves more to provide better for their family, and she sits on her fat ass complaining and telling everybody that she's the victim. When people fall into a rut like this and they convince themselves that they are the victim, they will always be the victim. You can't correct a person like this. They will go down in flames being the victim. This lady will probably wind up in jail at some point, because she's only going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole. She's never going to pull out of it. You can't. When you have made yourself the victim, it's in your mind. Until you make that mental effort to not be the victim anymore, nothing changes. And nobody else is going to change her mind, so she has convinced herself that this is where she is and she will always be there. She will always be a bitter, old, fat lady, and she will get more bitter, more old, and more fat. Guys, if you like the video, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you get notifications whenever I upload videos. Like the video. Comment down below. Am I being too hard on this heifer, or does she deserve it? And why, if you can answer that in the comment section down below, is it okay to be open season on white people and spew that kind of hate, and no one seems to frown on it? Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a book to educate yourself and to educate the idiots out there who can't think for themselves regarding mass shootings, go to damnliars.net. Again, damnliars.net, and get my brand new book, Damn Liars.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It's hanging around.